Thanksgiving as we know it started in 1621 when the Pilgrims and Wampanoag Native Americans shared a feast, though it was more about survival than celebration. That first gathering likely included wild game like venison, not the turkey and mashed potatoes we're used to today. In fact, turkey didn't become the main Thanksgiving dish until the 1800s when it was promoted by Sarah Josepha Hale, the same woman who wrote "Mary Had a Little Lamb" and lobbied for Thanksgiving to be a national holiday. Speaking of Sarah Josepha Hale, she's basically the mother of Thanksgiving. She spent 17 years writing letters to presidents, governors, and anyone who would listen, pushing for Thanksgiving to be recognized nationwide. Finally, in 1863, Abraham Lincoln declared Thanksgiving a national holiday during the Civil War, hoping it would help unite the country. Thanksgiving was actually celebrated on the last Thursday in November until 1939, when President Franklin D. Roosevelt moved it up a week to extend the holiday shopping season. This decision caused such an uproar that it was nicknamed Franksgiving. After a couple of years of debate, Congress settled on the fourth Thursday in November, where it's remained ever since. We can thank Thanksgiving for one of the biggest travel days of the year. Over 50 million Americans typically travel for Thanksgiving, whether it's by car, plane, or train, to be with family. The day before Thanksgiving, known as Blackout Wednesday, is also one of the busiest bar nights in the US as people return to their hometowns and catch up with old friends. The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade has been a staple since 1924. Back then, it featured live animals from the Central Park Zoo instead of the giant character balloons we see today. The balloons made their debut in 1927, and Felix the Cat was the first ever character to float down the streets of New York City. Today, the parade attracts millions of viewers and features elaborate floats, Broadway performances, and, of course, the arrival of Santa Claus to kick off the holiday season. Football on Thanksgiving Day started as a tradition in 1876, shortly after the sport was invented. Today, NFL games are a Thanksgiving Day ritual, with the Detroit Lions and Dallas Cowboys always hosting games. And, in recent years, there's even a primetime game added to keep football fans entertained well into the evening. Let's not forget about the turkey. Around 46 million turkeys are eaten every Thanksgiving in the US, and they even get their own presidential pardon. The first official turkey pardon is believed to have been started by President George H.W. Bush in 1989, though some records suggest that President Lincoln's son Tad convinced his father to spare a turkey way back in the 1860s. Nowadays, the pardoned turkeys are often sent to live out their days at farms or sanctuaries. Lastly, if you think you eat a lot on Thanksgiving, you're not alone. The average American consumes around 4,500 calories on Thanksgiving Day. That's equivalent to about 7 Big Macs. From appetizers and the main feast to dessert, it's a day of serious indulgence. And pumpkin pie, one of the most iconic Thanksgiving desserts, traces its roots back to early American settlers who didn't quite make pie as we know it but did roast pumpkins and fill them with milk, honey, and spices. Thanksgiving is all about gratitude and tradition, and whether it's through football, feasting, or family time, it's a uniquely American celebration with a rich history and plenty of quirks.